Hi everyone, I'm Becca. I'm the adult librarian at the North Branch. We are going to be getting started with Wanda and our wine pairing for beginners. Before we get started, I just wanted to share a little bit about Wanda. She is a writer at the Northeast Ohio Boomer and Beyond magazine. They currently have their November-December issue out. She has a holiday wine article in there. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more after tonight, you can take a look there. She is also into, she's gotten into doing wine photography over our kind of COVID season. So she has an Instagram account, and we will share that in the comments with you so that you can take a look at what she's doing. We also have a link that we're going to share for some more of her Wine with Wanda series that she does. I also wanted to talk briefly about the upcoming programs that we're going to be having. In January, we are going to be having a program on the 6th for energy choices. So that's going to be at 3 p.m. We will also be going into our, I believe it's our second book club now. Those are on, that's on the 13th at 6 p.m. We're going to be reading The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C. We do have some authors coming up too, so if you're interested in our author discussions, you can take a look at our online calendar and see all that we have to offer, what's coming up. So I am going to introduce Wanda now. We want to thank her for joining us today, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Wanda. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm really honored that you guys would have me to do this. I intend on having a really great time with everyone. Hi, everybody. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays. What a great day because it's actually snowing here in Canton, and I think that's a lot of fun. I happen to love the snow, and I'm not afraid of it. Well, one of the things I want to talk about with everyone is something I'm really excited to share is that we love sparkling wine. And you know, sparkling wine isn't just for holidays and special occasions and 21st birthdays and 50th birthdays. It can be used on a regular basis. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot about champagne because I know that a lot of people are watching their nickels and dimes this holiday season because of some things we're going through right now in our country. So I won't go into very expensive wines. In fact, I'm going to keep the conversation with wines that are around $20, $12, around $12 to $23 per bottle, which I'm hoping that everyone can obtain too. Thanks. So, when I open up the conversation dialogue, I'm going to start out with sparkling. Now, a lot of us are having turkey and stuffing and all of the traditional Thanksgiving type dishes and Christmas type dishes. You know, sparkling wines go great with turkey, everybody, and baked chickens. And oh, wow, those ambitious fried turkeys. I love seeing people do those. I have eaten them before, and they are really delicious and moist. You can pair a beautiful fried turkey with a sparkling wine. One of the wines I suggest for fried turkey is one that you see all the time. It's at all other grocery stores and your grocers, including Fisher's and all the other stores, Giant Eagle and Acme and so forth, Bueller's as well. It's called Freixenet. It's in a black Cordon Negro bottle, and it's called Freixenet. It's from Spain, and it's a cava, C-A-V-A. It's a cava. Now, this particular cava is wrapped in this gorgeous black frosted bottle. You saw it a million times and maybe overlooked it. You know, that wine is sparkling, and it comes in a dry, and it also comes in a rosé and a sweet version. That wine's usually around $10 to $12 a bottle, and it is rated 90 plus in Wine Spectator. So it's that little value that you've probably been overlooking for years and never tackled it. Time to buy a bottle now to go with your fried turkey. It will really do you proud. And those people who are making their classic roast turkey, whether it's grandma's recipe or Martha Stewart's or something you're just winging for the first time with some fresh sage and poultry seasoning, you know, that traditional turkey. You can also consider pairing that as well with a sparkling wine. Again, sparkling wines aren't just for special occasions. I think me and Becca had a conversation about sparkling wines. I think she took my suggestion on a few things. So there's several sparkling wines out there. There's one called MUM, M-U-M. It is from California, and it's around that $20 price point. It also comes in a couple of versions, including a rosé. Now, the rosé can be made from both red and white grapes. It's the skin contact with the fermentation that gives you that beautiful rosé color. These wines are marvelous, and they're around that $20 price point. Again, they're easily found on the store shelves. That pairs beautiful, as well as obviously a Chardonnay or a maybe a Pecorino or just a still wine. When I use the term still wine, I am talking about a non-sparkling. That's the term. There are lots of beautiful wines out there that are sparkling. I'll show you one or two, and they are not opened. I just want to give you a look at a couple of them, if you're able to see them. This is a wine from France. Sparkling wines from France are referred to as Cremant. The T is silent, Cremant. They're not from the Champagne region of France, so therefore they aren't champagnes. But they are prepared in the same manner, which is a method traditionnel, or champagnoise is the term. But this is a really nice one here, and I think this one's only around $18, and it's made of one grape. It is made from a white Pinot. I know what you're thinking. Right, Pinot Noir, but Pinot Noir is when it has to skin. This is when it doesn't. It's a white Pinot, and it is sparkling, and it's very affordable. Lucien Albright makes this. It's from Alsace, France. A lot of people think that Alsace is in Germany. It is not. It's in France. I think we all know the history that France sold a lot of its property, which I'd had a few dollars back then to purchase because I had an amazing experience as owning some of France. But they did sell some of their property to Germany, but not Alsace. So here's one right here, and it is a lovely wine. I will show you another one as well. This is a rosé from France. To my understanding, Fisher's may have this, as well as Buehler's. I believe this is around probably $18 per bottle. All the wines I'm showing you I own, they're from my private collection, and I own quite a few sparkling wines. I think I lost you for a second. And so take a look at your sparkling wines. Don't forget about Prosecco. Let's talk about Prosecco a little bit. We all are familiar with it for the most part, I am assuming. Well, Prosecco used to be called a Glera grape. Prosecco is only made from one grape. It's called a Glera, G-L-E-R-A. It used to be a Prosecco grape. It's gone back and forth over the decades. And it isn't an overly sophisticated wine. It isn't expensive. It isn't deep and poetic. It's a very simple, easy drinking wine. I prefer the ones from Italy, and I'm suggesting the ones from Italy. They're very inexpensive. There's a brand called Mianetto that I love a lot. And there's one that I haven't had, so if anybody decides to try it, email me and let me know what you think. It's from Josh, and I think that you all may recognize that name. Josh has come out with a beautiful Prosecco in a high gloss black bottle with the beautiful foil at the top. And I believe that it's on sale with some of your grocers for around $15 through the holidays. So check that out and let me know what you think of it. I haven't had the opportunity to try it at this time. And I want to let you know how to store your wines to keep them cold. Sparkling wines are served cold. My personal experience has been as such. A big, nice container. It doesn't have to be an ice bucket if you don't have one. Just get a big, nice container. Fill it with cold water, ice cold water, and lots of ice cubes. The funny thing is, and I'm sure there's some science to it, maybe Dee Rondinella may know, she's one of the most intelligent people I've run across in a while. For some reason, those two things together are colder than just plain ice. So store it that way. And also, you know, your sparkling wines, well, they're not going to be sparkly in the morning if you don't drink them. Now, if you're not like me and can, you know, put down a bottle with no problem, it's going to be flat. That's not really a bad thing. It's just the way things are. 40 million bubbles in a bottle of sparkling wine aren't going to keep it till morning. They're not going to wait. So if you have flat sparkling wine and don't want to pour it down the drain, you can macerate fresh fruit in it, strawberries, melons, any kind of fruit. It does still contain the alcohol, so you're not going to serve that to a child or a minor at that point. It's still alcohol. But you can have fun with it that way so you don't feel you waste your purchase. Now, for those that are having ham, whether it's sweet or savory, hams come both versions. A rosé, it can be a sparkling or a still rosé. Rosé is very, very nice with a ham meal. You can also consider using a Pinot Noir with a ham, the salty version of the ham. I think they call them bone-ins or picnic hams or Black Forest hams. That would work very well. The Pinot Noirs are a tricky wine. They're not always delicious. However, the ones from Oregon are always delicious. They really have stepped up their game in the past decade, and they are becoming really well known internationally with their Pinot Noirs. There are lots of brands, so I won't shout them out. Just trust me on it and email me and tell me what you think. Pinot Noirs from Oregon are amazing. You're probably going to start out around $15 with them and go forward. You can make the decision on how much you're spending on an Oregon Pinot Noir. Of course, they're from France, and they are also from other parts of the country, including Chile, but I really am into the ones from Oregon. And sometimes it is nice to have a domestic wine and support the good old US of A, although I'm very fond of wines from other countries, as you know, but it is good to support our country, especially right now. So for those of you who are hunting or know people that hunt and they're kind enough to bring you some venison or some other game meat, I do not eat red meat. I thought I'd throw that out there. I stopped eating it many, many years ago, not for any political reasons, just because I am watching my cholesterol as I turn a very special age next year. And venison is very dry, as you know. And if you're someone who likes it and having game or any type of game, I think hunting may have just ended. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. You may consider using a red wine to marinate that meat in to get rid of that gaminess that it has, along with garlic and rosemary and other fresh herbs to remove some of that gaminess. Now, a good wine to serve with that would be a nice Cabernet Sauvignon. Here's the thing about Cabernet Sauvignon. It also comes in a rosé form, and I am crazy about a rosé Cabernet Sauvignon. They're very inexpensive. They're only around $10 per bottle. That's right. Motorbosch or Motorbosch, I always get the pronunciation off a little bit. They have a really nice one for around that $10, $12 price point. I think Bueller's carries them on occasions. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon, but it's a rosé form. Cabernets are made a little bit differently with a rosé. It's called Saunier, which is French for bleeding, bled, something like that. Saunier method. So it's a little bit richer in that sense. It isn't just the skin contact, it's actually taking some of the red wine and adding it to the rosé. So it's a little bit different, a little bit richer. But those can go very well with venison and game as well. Definitely your dark, heavier wines go good with the venison. And since it's a special time of year, perhaps you've dug in a little deep and decided to go with a prime rib. Isn't that seductive, the way they carve that? I love that. With all that fat rind and the rosemary crust and the peppercorn crust, lots of flavor, lots of umami, lots of richness with that. Again, trying to stay within budget pricing. And if you're not on a budget, definitely go with something like an Amarone della Valpolicella, which will set you back quite a bit. But I do suggest having some fun with the cabs and your red meat this holiday season. There are so many out there. They're good from all over. I love the ones from Chile, Portugal, California is doing a lot with them right now. And don't worry too much about the smoke taint. The smoke taint wines aren't really revealing themselves too much right now because these things just happen. And I know how badly we feel about all that. I certainly do. But check out the California cabs and have fun with the cabs with your game and your red meat. Now, if you're like me, who you pretty much live on seafood, fish, fried fish, you can definitely go with the sparkling wines with that. There are a lineup of sparkling wines that you can try. So take a look at them and have a lot of fun with them. Don't forget to keep them refrigerated. So, oh, back to the cab. I don't mean to regress. Back to the cabs. So why don't you have a little fun with your red meat in the cabs this year, the Cabernet Sauvignons. Do a little bit of a tasting if you're having people over, and please be safe if you're doing that. You know, we're all struggling right now. Me, personally, I will be at home and not having anyone over and not inviting anyone in. That's just a judgment call for me. Everyone does what they feel is best and safe. But if you're doing a Cabernet Sauvignon, have a little fun with them. Get out some pencil and paper and do some notes on them. See which ones you like the best. A good Cabernet Sauvignon, you're definitely going to taste the oak because it's been in an oak barrel. If it has any self-respect, it's been in an oak barrel. If you're going to go too inexpensive with a Cabernet Sauvignon, you're probably going to have regrets. You're also not going to be enjoying the full experience of a magnificent grape like that Cabernet Sauvignon. Price point, I probably wouldn't go much lower than $15, $20 for Cabernet Sauvignon. They're just not going to have the structure. They're not going to have the finesse, and you're going to be getting something that's a little bit substandard. I just keep it real and tell you what's really going to be the thing. So if that's not in your budget right now, I get it. Trust me, I get it. I used to be a single parent and I watched every single dime that came my way. So I get it. As someone who's a little bit more mature age now, that's not so much the case, but I do get it. But if you are in the budget to do that, have a couple of bottles and try them out for a little fun. So let's talk about a really bizarre thing. And I respect it because it's innovative, and I like innovation. And it's called a turducken. Are you all hip to those? They've been around for a while. To my understanding, Todd English, the New York chef, actually came up with that turducken. And it's basically a couple of birds wrapped in another bird, and it's all tied up and it's roasted, and it's a turducken. It has duck, it has turkey, and chicken, to my understanding. And I think they've gone a whole nother level and added something else into it. But I think it's quite charming. So if you're having a turducken, you're going to want to answer to the richness of the duck, which is going to be a red wine. It is probably going to be a lighter red wine, maybe like a Pinot Noir or a Merlot. Merlots are one of my favorite classic red wines. If you're not into them and you're having a turducken, consider it. Merlots are chocolatey on the finish, and they have a lot of rich dark fruit. They can be amazing. And let me tell you one of my favorite ones that's really cost effective. I can't believe how much in love I fell with this wine. I was guzzling it down most of the summer months. It's by Ménage à Trois. They have a whole line of wines, and the majority of them are actually pretty good for the money. They range around $10 per bottle, 10 to 14, depending on which one you get. It's a Merlot, and it's very chocolatey. It's very rich for the money. It's by Ménage à Trois. So consider Ménage à Trois. It's at most of your grocers. Again, if you're into the fuel perks and grocery perks, that can help you out if you purchase your wine from those type stores. So if you're into the turducken. Now, if you're having seafood, like a bouillabaisse or crab or something like that, you're obviously going to be with the white wine. And don't forget the sparkling. Sparkling wines are beautiful with seafood dishes, especially fried fish, baked fish, salmon. Now, salmon is king of the sea, as we know, and you can have a lot of fun with a light red wine with your salmon food. One of the ways I eat salmon is with ginger, orange juice, and green onions. And I just like that light Thai/Asian application to my salmon. I happen to love seafood, and that's the majority of what I consume as far as animal protein is concerned. Definitely want to consider a Sauvignon Blanc if you're serving like shrimp or oysters, that type of thing. It goes with nice briny things. The Sauvignon Blancs from New Zealand are absolutely some of my favorites. The Marlborough region, Kim Crawford, I think they're around $18 a bottle. They're magnificent. You get a heavy grapefruit nose from it. They're very high on acidity. So if you don't like high acidic wine, the Sauvignon Blanc might not quite be for you. Although, I digress. There is one that I like that it's a good price point. It's called Giesenhaus. Giesen. It's in a black-white bottle. I don't have one, or I'd show it to you. And another one that isn't so high in acidity is Sea Pearl. That one is also a really terrific price point. Most of them are, to be honest, Sauvignon Blancs. They go nice with the briny type seafood. Now, there's another one that I love. It's called Pic Paul. Pic Paul is in a long cylindrical bottle, and it's also very affordable, around the same price as a Sauvignon Blanc. Pic Paul is a smoother wine, and that is the grape as well, Pic Paul. And it's not the way you think it's spelled. Don't ask me to say it 3 times in a row. Pic Paul, Pic Paul, Pic Paul. There you go. Give it a shot if you can find it. I know Bueller's usually does carry it, and I used to be a wine steward at Bueller's for a while, and I loved my time there. So if any of the Bueller's people are here, hi guys, check that out, Pic Paul. There is another white wine that I might suggest also. It's an Albarino from Spain. Very high in acidity, goes beautiful with creamy seafood dishes, like if you're having a, oh gosh, like a shrimp scampi maybe, where it's heavy with the butter. You know, heavy with the butter and the garlic, that Albarino will cut through all that oil and such. Another white wine that goes with seafood would be a Pecorino from Italy. I'm sure you can find it, a Pecorino. I would suggest wine.com, but it would be too late for you to get it more than likely. Although, if you want to do next day air, I think it's around $48. So if you know someone who'd like to go in on it with you, that could share the cost. But wine.com may be able to get you some wines before the holiday sets in. Now, I will tell you a little bit about how they work. Wine.com, I don't have any affiliation with them financially at all. I mention them because they have been the most reliable. Their call center is in the U.S., and they don't have a minimum. And I really like how they operate. And you can call them and place an order. I believe they're in California. You can call them and place an order and not have to put your debit card online, which I'm not always a fan of. The wine comes beautifully packaged. Oh my gosh, right? And the FedEx Deliver said only FedEx delivers wine in the U.S. They have the complete licensing for that. So FedEx delivers it. You do not have to have contact with them. You just show your ID through the window. In my case, it was the dead of summer. I left it on the deck. He scanned it without touching it. He left the carton for me to unwrap. I wiped it all down with CDC approved sanitizer. I suggest you wipe your bottles down with that if you purchased them. It's no telling what's on it or who touched it. And I brought the wines in the house and enjoyed them thereafter. Their selection of wine is utterly ridiculous. They have everything from $8 up to maybe $3,000, $4,000 bottles of Margaux, Tibillage, and all those. But check it out. Even if you don't order from them, just check it out and see what it's about and see if it's something for you moving forward. They have shipping packages. It depends on how much you purchase, depending on how much the shipping will cost. Again, if you can find someone to go in on a case with you or 6 bottles, that would save you that way. But wine.com, check it out for those of you who aren't doing a lot of going out and purchasing and browsing and cruising the wine shops. So FYI, if you need any more information, just contact them. They will answer anything you have to ask. So So let's talk about dessert. I love dessert. Oh my gosh. I'll bet I would be a size 4 if I didn't love dessert, but I do. I love it. It's playful, it's delicious. And I'll bet some of you have the most incredible family recipes that you are going to be making this holiday season. So, dessert. There's a wine that I sort of just discovered that goes beautifully with dessert. There's a lot of talk about how to pair wine with dessert. It's real simple, and here we go. You have to have a wine that's sweeter than the chocolate or the candy or the pie or the cheesecake or the macarons. You need to have a sweet wine. A lot of people think that a cab goes with chocolate. If you feel that way and you enjoy it, you keep on that way. I do not. I disagree. I do not think that it goes with chocolate or anything else sweet. But everyone should drink what they like and pair wines with how they like. Don't let me bully you, because I will. But jokes being put aside, you know, a dessert wine is to be is for desserts or a drink alone. There's a wine that I just discovered from Washington State. As you may know, Washington State is absolutely beautiful with the Riesling grape. They are rock stars with the Riesling grape. There is the wine from Saint Chateau Michel. It's called Erosia. Well, that in and of itself is scrumptious. It's around $25 a bottle. It's in a long green bottle, and it reminds you of honeysuckle and a mandarin orange peel. It's nice in and of itself, so consider that as well. Throw that into the list of wines I'm suggesting. But this one is called Erosion Gold. It's only in a 500 milliliter bottle, not like the regular wines that are $7.50, so it's a bit smaller. And it's around $20 a bottle, and it is delicious. Now, the bottle isn't quite as small as an ice wine. I won't get into that too much because they are not as cost effective as I'm trying to stay with everybody. But this Erosia Gold from Washington State, Saint Chateau Michel is the vintner. It's out of this world. It has beautiful, it smells like honey, tastes like honey a little bit, orange rind, dried apricot. It goes beautiful with fudge, cheesecake, pound cake, layer cake. If it's sweet, you can put it with it. It's absolutely marvelous. It's a new jewel I discovered, and I did drink the bottle. I would have showed it to you, but look it up online. Please trust me, it's delicious. But it isn't cloyingly sweet to where it's like, you know, too sweet. It has an acidity back to it to where it isn't so sweet to where it's just like sugar. It's not like syrup, it's finessed. So Erosia Gold I'm going to suggest that for your desserts, your apple pie, your pumpkin cheesecake, your pumpkin pie, sugar cookies. Yes, it goes with that as well. So I'm looking to see if there's any questions on here from anyone. I'd like to answer them before our time is up, and I don't mind going past if you all are into that. I think I see a question, so let me check that out. Be patient with me, everybody. I'm going to put on my specs and see. Okay. No, I guess I don't have any questions so far. You're welcome to email me at my email address, and I do check my email throughout the day, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have about wine. Tell me what you're drinking these days. Tell me how your holidays went. I am accessible that way. So I wish everybody the best Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. Oh, I can't wait to see you all in the new year. What I'm hoping is that this whole situation that we're suffering through will be under control or gone altogether. I'll be able to be in person at the libraries. We all have so much to talk about. And maybe I can bring a couple bottles in to show you some new things I've discovered. But my thoughts are with everybody and your families. Please be safe this holiday season and do your thing the way you do it. And I wish you the very best and most wonderful holiday season ever. And I hope to see you in the new year. Cheers.
Thank you, Wanda.
All right. So if anybody has any questions, I think my camera might be frozen. If anyone has any questions, feel free to type down below in the chat box. We've shared some of the links to get in contact with Wanda, take a look at anything that she's doing. But yeah, we're going to open up for questions. If you have anything, go right ahead and post.
Becca, can you see the questions better than me by any chance?
I don't see anything in there yet. I know I just posted your contact information.
Yes.
So we'll give everybody a minute to see if they have any questions or not. I did want to say thank you to you, Wanda, because we are certainly enjoying your recommendations. We're not really wine people, me and my husband, but it's been really interesting to give it a try every now and then.
Oh,
we have
sure.
somebody asking what your email address is, and I can share that too.
Oh yeah, please. It's redwine500@yahoo.com, redwine500@yahoo.com, and I always check spam, so I always answer my emails.
All right, I added that to our chat down below too.
Yes, I see that.
Do we have any other questions? So what are you having this year, Wanda? What are you going to have to?
Yeah, I'm actually having buttermilk fried chicken. Definitely breaking the calorie code on that one. Buttermilk fried chicken, traditional cornbread stuffing, sweet potatoes, and one of my other hobbies other than wine are very, let's just say, gourmet priced chocolates. So that's probably going to be my holiday meal. I'm going to be pairing that buttermilk fried chicken with a white Pinot sparkling wine.
That sounds really good. We do have one question. Do you have any recommendations on what would go well with blueberry pie?
Oh gosh, yeah, that's dessert. Who doesn't love blueberry pie? I'm getting hungry thinking of it. I do suggest the Erosia Gold. That wine is magnificent. It's sweet. It has raw honey undertones and dried apricot and orange rind. It is absolutely delicious. If you want to spend a little more, probably twice as much, try one of the ice wines. The ones from Canada are amazing. Jackson Perkins makes one. There are some Moscatos on the market that are sweet. There are some from California. It has an angel on the label. Gosh, I cannot think of what it's called right now. Please forgive me. If you email me, maybe it will come to me. It has an angel on the bottle. It comes in a red version, and it comes in a white version. The white version tastes a lot like candied orange rind. The red one tastes a lot like raspberry candy. They're around $20 a bottle, and they're sold just about everywhere. They may be out of stock right now. It's extraordinarily popular, but those are a couple of suggestions. Blueberry pie definitely would go with a sweet wine.
All right, well, that Erosia Gold kind of sounds pretty good.
It's outrageous, really. Don't even bother to buy just one bottle if you have the money, because you're going to be sorry. It's that good, really. I do stand by that recommendation. I purchased it, and I love it. I can't wait to get a bottle.
All right. Well, the person who asked that blueberry pie question, she said, "Thank you so much."
You're welcome so much.
So I think that we're going to close this out. I want to thank you again. Thank you so much, Wanda, for doing this with us. You have a happy holidays and a good new year.
Happy holidays to everyone. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.